Everything seems under control. No sign of SWAT. No sign of anyone.
Very often we've seen third-party games on Wii U that don't put the gamepad to much use, or if they do, they're poorly made party games. It also makes it pretty shameful that Watch Dogs on Wii U didn't make better use of the gamepad when this game came out earlier and showed a great example of how a game with tech elements could use the gamepad to full effect. This is Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut for the Wii U. Human Revolution is one game where the story actually does matter a lot. In this plot-heavy game, former cop Adam Jensen is on a mission to stop some terrorists who have previously attacked the augmentation company he now runs security for. The previous attack left the love of his life dead and forced he himself to get augmented to stay alive. Of course, the rest of the story sees Jensen using his skills and enhancements to get to the bottom of this big conspiracy. The story actually kept my interest with its details, plot development, twists, and mysteries. The game really puts your brain to work just with its story. You're learning a lot about the plot through the dialogue as well as information you find in the missions. After all, the reason you're going on many of these missions is for more information, which often leads to more questions and obviously some fighting. This game handles its presentation pretty well. Cutscenes look very polished and well animated like a big budget film. The in-game graphics aren't as nice, but still up to standard for the most part. Great lighting and consistent white balance to go with the chosen look, well-designed character models. Just try to forgive some of the awkward animations during the in-game dialogue. And there are occasional frame rate drops when shooting or taking down an opponent up close. Otherwise, the visuals bring this dark, tech-heavy future to life. The sound is equally good. Epic music, very hard-hitting sound effects, and pretty good voice acting. Granted, some of the villain voice acting sounds kind of over the top, and Jensen for most of the game has a pretty stiff and moody personality, which is understandable given his character's history.
They picked off my brother for trying to set up shop in the area. Rest in peace, Big Rizzle.
Yeah, rip.
I gotta be honest, that's one of the best lines in the whole game. But actually, dialogue is part of the gameplay. When you talk to certain NPCs, you're given choices on things to say. Now, this is more than a way of making Jensen a sympathetic character or a cold-hearted bastard. It actually becomes vital in accomplishing a goal with the least amount of resistance. Reading the character you're talking to and getting them to let you into a door or provide you with information is a challenge on its own. You push the wrong buttons, you may end up having to fight a whole force of heavily armed guards. But you talk your way through, the NPC will simply open the door for you and you'll face no resistance. It's probably the most engaging use of NPC interaction I've seen in a while.
Everyone's pretty excited about the Switch. Until Nintendo makes more confirmations though, we're having to rely on a lot of rumors.
Any rumors of good games coming to the system?
Well, I've heard the new 3D Mario will be a launch game and that it's more like Mario 64.
That would be a nice change from 3D World.
No kidding. We are hearing rumors of a lot of ports coming, though.
Ports? How can they expect ports to get everyone to buy the new system?
Well, these are Wii U ports mostly.
That doesn't make it any better.
Jensen, the Wii U didn't sell well, but the Switch hopefully will. It's a way for people who didn't buy the Wii U to play some of its best games on the system everyone will buy. It's gotta be that way since Nintendo is shutting down the Wii U production soon to focus on the Switch. Rest in peace, Wii U.
Yeah, rip.
Now, let me just say, this game isn't all talk no action. It's definitely an action game, specifically first-person shooter adventure meets stealth meets RPG. In between any combat, you can explore the buildings where missions are to find money, items, and computers to hack. Interesting thing to note is that you manage items in this upgradable grid inventory similar to Resident Evil 4. This serves as another way of strategizing how you play. You also explore the open hubs like Detroit, Montreal, and Singapore. The hubs are particularly impressive. They're filled with cops, vendors, everyday civilians, and some scumbag punks for you to knock out. But most importantly, they have their own optional side quests for you to complete. These side quests really put your skills in stealth and investigation to good use. And since you get some good experience points and money rewards from them, the side quests don't feel like meaningless distractions. Actually, they add even more depth to the world of Deus Ex. So how well does this game function as a shooter? Well, some positives are how powerful all the guns feel. Every shot feels like it hits your enemies hard, and the flying debris of shot up cover adds to the flair of combat, although many of the tougher enemies can take an unrealistic amount of damage before dropping. but it's not always a straightforward FPS. When you choose to take cover, the game becomes a cover-based third-person shooter. This actually saved my hide in some of the harder battles and even helped with sneaking around. From taking cover, you can roll across gaps to other cover spots and peek out to shoot an enemy you've had your eye on this whole time. Then pressing the cover button again puts you back in first-person mode. You might not think this marriage of FPS and cover-based shooting would work together, but it does. Pretty well, in fact. Comes in handy against the game's ruthless and semi-smart AI. I'm not kidding, you can die pretty easily from getting shot in this game, and I did many times. The enemies will take cover, they'll use grenades, and even on the easiest difficulty setting they have pretty good spatial awareness, making the game that much more challenging. The one awkward thing is the controls. Aiming and shooting work fine, it's just what button does what. The usual sprint button is crouch, the usual aim through the sight button is actually for third-person cover, the normal melee button is aiming. It still confuses me often, even though you can get used to it if you try, and you'll have to since you unfortunately can't change these controls without altering the whole setup. This isn't Conduit 2. Now while the game is partially a shooter, you're more encouraged to take a stealth approach, partially because ammo isn't as plentiful as normal shooters. And fortunately the stealth is well put together. You can crouch, go through vents, and jump on boxes to sneak your way through an area or towards an enemy. Then depending on your approach, or maybe just your mood, you always have the option to knock someone out or kill them. But what's even better is that even if you're spotted before you get close, you can still perform either takedown once you're in the enemy's face. And Jensen's got some pretty badass moves and weapons for all this.
You are...
You've just been erased.
Afterwards, Deus Ex lets you do something 007 Legends should have included, the ability to drag bodies off to hide them, which may seem strange in first person, but it becomes vital when trying to stay stealthy. It's the most welcome addition to this first-person stealth adventure, and getting to loot the bodies for cash and ammo is nice too. Supposedly the boss fights in Director's Cut got improvements from the game's original release on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Now I haven't played those versions, so I can't really make the comparison, but from playing against these bosses they are decently fun. They don't feel all that different from combat through the rest of the game, but they are more brutal. On the harder difficulty settings, the game even goes as far as to only let you kill a boss with a very specific weapon, thus forcing you to fight with better reactions and tactics. Of course, for those of you who get frustrated by this, you can always lower or raise the difficulty at almost any point in your current game without starting the whole game over. I must admit I found that feature rather handy. But on to what makes this game shine on Wii U, how it uses the gamepad, and boy does it ever. It's a detailed map with radar, you read files on it, sort through your inventory, check your objectives, swipe the touchscreen to throw enemy grenades back. Yes, you heard that right. One feature I really liked was being able to upgrade your augmentations on the touchscreen. Like Arkham City, it just makes sense for the game's universe and with our real world having so much touchscreen anyway. As you earn points, you can then upgrade everything from your aiming and hacking skills down to how long you can sprint, enhancing Jensen even further to fit your playstyle. But the best use of the touchscreen here is touchscreen hacking. How Watch Dogs on Wii U completely missed this is still beyond me. What's wrong with you, lazy bum? Hacking like this works well, it's immersive, it's challenging, intense. It's just what you'd want from a tech-centric game on Wii U. Unfortunately, there is one gamepad use that isn't so good. Aiming with the sniper rifle makes you scope through the gamepad. This may have sort of worked in Zombie U, but for this game, it just feels awkward and clunky, so the game would have been better off without it. Ignoring that one flaw though, the gamepad usage in this game makes Deus Ex feel built for the Wii U, like it was meant to be.
Access granted.
This game really shows what happens when third-party developers put real time and effort into the Wii U version of a multi-platform game, but it's also a great game in general. It's got an interesting story, fun gameplay mechanics, and fully realized gamepad functionality. If you're a Wii U owner looking for a great third-party title on your system with everything I mentioned, you've got to pick up this gem. And that's my review of Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut for the Wii U. If you like this review, check out my reviews of these other Wii U games, Watch Dogs and Splinter Cell Blacklist. See you all next time.